We live in a world full of noise. Every day you're told who to be, what to do, what success should look like. Social media showcases highlight reels. Society celebrates the loudest, not the most fulfilled. It's easy to feel lost, to wonder if you're behind, to feel like you missed some secret that everyone else already knows. But here's the truth most people won't tell you: you are not behind. You are not broken. You are not too late. You are right on time for your journey. This audiobook isn't about quick hacks, magic formulas, or toxic positivity. It's about the inner work, the deep, sometimes uncomfortable, but ultimately rewarding process of becoming your best self. Because that's what real success is. Not just the money, not just the achievements, but the person you become in the process. This journey begins with a powerful realization. Success doesn't start with a job, a degree, or a follower count. Success starts with you. Not someday. Not when things are perfect. Not when you feel ready. But now. This audiobook is your guide, not your savior. We'll cover everything from responsibility and mindset to discipline, failure, growth, and transformation. These chapters are designed to wake something up inside you, something that's always been there. That voice inside you that whispers, "You were made for more." That inner compass that's been buried under fear, doubt, and comparison. That potential that's been waiting patiently for you to say yes to yourself. So before we begin, take a breath. This isn't just a book. It's a decision, a declaration, a commitment. You're not just going to listen. You're going to evolve. You're going to rise. You're going to remember who you are and who you're becoming. Success starts with you. And your journey? It begins right now. Chapter 1: The Power of Taking Full Responsibility. Let's begin with one of the most life-altering principles you will ever learn. Success starts the moment you take full responsibility for your life. Not partial responsibility. Not when it's easy. Not only when things go well. Full. Total. Relentless. Responsibility. Most people never reach their potential, not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they refuse to take ownership of their lives. It's always someone else's fault. The economy, their parents, the boss, the past, the government, their ex, their trauma. And while those things are real, they are not final. They are not you. And they do not get the final say. Why responsibility is power. Responsibility isn't about blame, it's about power. When you take responsibility, you reclaim control. You stop being the victim of your circumstances and become the architect of your future. Let me ask you this. Who controls your effort? You do. Who decides what you consume, read, and believe? You do. Who chooses your reaction in any moment, no matter how hard? Still you. The moment you understand this, you begin to see that everything you want, every goal, every dream, every version of success, is within your influence, not outside of it. The blame trap. Blaming feels good short-term. It makes us feel justified, safe, even supported. But it's a trap. Every time you blame, you hand over your power. You unconsciously say, "I'm not in control. Someone else is responsible for where I am." That belief keeps you stuck. Blame creates victims. Responsibility creates leaders. How to shift into ownership mode. Making the shift into full responsibility doesn't happen overnight. It takes self-awareness and radical honesty. Here's how to start. 1. Audit your language. Listen to the words you say. "I have to," replace it with "I choose to." "They made me feel," replace with "I felt." "It's not my fault." Ask instead, "What was my part in this?" Language shapes your beliefs. Change your words and your mindset follows. 2. Own your reactions. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control your reaction. Let's be clear, reacting with anger, jealousy, or fear is human. But staying in those states is a choice. Learn to pause, reflect, respond intentionally. That's ownership. 3. Identify areas you've avoided responsibility. Take a journal. Make 2 columns. On the left, right, areas where I've blamed others. On the right, what I can take responsibility for. Be honest. Maybe it's your health, your job, your finances, your relationships. This exercise is not about guilt, it's about taking back your power. A real-life example. Let's talk about Jamal. Jamal grew up in a neighborhood where crime, poverty, and hopelessness were the norm. His father left when he was 6. His mom worked 2 jobs. He barely passed high school. At 18, he got arrested for stealing. Sounds like a familiar story, right? But here's what changed his life. In jail, Jamal picked up a book. It was about personal responsibility. And in that cold, silent cell, he made a choice. No more excuses. He got his GED. Started reading every day. Learned business. Worked low-paying jobs, saved money, and launched a landscaping company. 5 years later, he owned a fleet of trucks and hired guys from the same neighborhood he grew up in. He could have blamed the system, his upbringing, his past. Instead, he took full responsibility and changed everything. What taking responsibility is not. It's not blaming yourself for everything. It's not about shame. It's not denying reality. Hard things happen. Trauma is real. It's not going it alone. Taking responsibility means asking for help when needed. It's about saying, "This is my life. I am the main character. And I will write the next chapter intentionally." Responsibility in the key areas of life. Let's break it down further. Here's how responsibility looks in different areas. Career. Stop waiting for promotions or recognition. Ask, what skills do I need to grow? What value can I add today? Health. Blame genetics or doctors less. Focus on what you eat, how you move, how you rest. Finances. Instead of saying, "I'll never get ahead," say, "I'm learning how to manage and grow money." Relationships. Don't focus on what others did wrong. Ask, how can I improve how I show up? Mental health. Yes, circumstances impact you. But healing begins when you stop waiting for someone to rescue you, and you commit to the work. Your turning point moment. This is your moment of decision. You can keep hoping things will change. Or you can choose to change. And the most powerful change begins with this simple sentence. I take full responsibility for my life starting now. Say it again. Out loud if you have to. That's the first act of power. That's the first act of becoming your best self. Chapter 2. Define what success means to you. We live in a world that's loud about success. It tells you success is a luxury car, a huge house, a corner office, a viral following, a certain number in your bank account. But what if you reach all of that and still feel unfulfilled? That's because real success is never universal. It's personal. Step 1. Question the default definition. Before you chase success, pause and ask yourself, whose version of success am I chasing? Is it your parents'? Society's? Instagram's? Too often we inherit a blueprint we never questioned. We follow a path we never chose. And when we get to the end, it doesn't feel like victory, it feels like emptiness. Success isn't just the what, it's the why. Ask yourself, what do I actually want out of life? When do I feel most alive? What am I willing to struggle for? Step 2. Define success with depth, not just metrics. Here's a secret. Success is not a finish line. It's a state of alignment. It's when your actions match your values. When you wake up and your life feels like yours. Yes, goals matter. But without values, they're hollow. Start building a deeper definition. Emotionally, how do I want to feel every day? Peaceful? Energized? Proud? Mentally, what kind of thoughts do I want to have about myself and my future? Physically, what kind of lifestyle supports my health and energy? Relationally, who do I want to spend my time with? What kind of love or friendship matters most? Financially, what level of income supports my freedom, not my ego? Write it all down. Not in vague terms. Be real. Be honest. Be bold. Step 3. Create your personal success compass. Once you've defined it, success becomes your compass. Every decision gets filtered through one question. Does this bring me closer to my version of success or further away? This clarity is powerful. It helps you. Say no without guilt. Focus your energy on what truly matters. Compare less because you're on your own path. You don't need to run someone else's race. You need to win your own. Watch out for the success trap. The success trap is real. It's when you start chasing external approval over internal fulfillment. Remember, achievement without alignment is just noise. Busyness is not purpose. Hustle is not happiness. If you're doing everything right, but still feel empty, it's not because you're broken. It's because your ladder is against the wrong wall. Step down. Reroute. Redefine. Chapter 3. Master your mindset. Your mindset is the filter through which you experience your life. If you change the filter, you change the story. If you change the story, you change your reality. The foundation of all change. Before you improve your habits, before you chase big goals, before you shift your outer world, you must first master your inner world. Your mindset is the foundation. Without it, everything else cracks under pressure. Why? Because success begins in thought. Everything you want to become starts as a belief. Every limit in your life began as a thought you accepted as truth. So ask yourself, what have I believed that's been holding me back? Fixed versus growth mindset. Dr. Carol Dweck introduced the world to two major mindsets. Fixed mindset, I am who I am. I can't improve much. Growth mindset, I can learn. I can grow. I can change. People with a fixed mindset avoid challenges. They hate failing. They seek validation. People with a growth mindset embrace difficulty. They know setbacks are setups for growth. They don't fear failure, they use it. Here's a truth. You're not born with a fixed amount of intelligence, talent, or willpower. These are skills, not gifts. Skills you can grow. The story you tell yourself. Let's say someone says to you, "You're not good at public speaking. You always mess things up. You're too old to start over." Now here's the question. Do you accept that as truth? Or do you question the story? Most of us carry old mental scripts, written by someone else. A teacher. A parent. A painful experience. But those scripts are just stories. And you are the author now. Rewrite the script. I'm learning to speak with confidence. Mistakes don't define me, they refine me. It's never too late to become who I'm meant to be. The power of inner dialogue. How you talk to yourself matters more than how the world talks to you. Are you your own worst critic, or your best coach? You might not even notice your inner voice because it's been whispering for so long. But it's there. Every single day. Try this. Catch a negative thought today. Pause. Reframe it. Instead of, "I'm terrible at this," say, "I'm not good at it yet, but I can learn." This one word, yet, has changed lives. It signals that you believe in your own potential. And that is powerful. Mindset shifts that unlock your potential. Here are 7 mindset shifts that will help you grow. From victim to creator. Why is this happening to me? Becomes, what can I create from this? From scarcity to abundance. There's not enough becomes, there's more than enough for all of us. From fear to curiosity. What if I fail? Becomes, what if I grow? From perfection to progress. I must get it right becomes, I must just get started. From comparison to self-compassion. They're ahead of me becomes, I'm on my own journey. From excuses to ownership. I don't have time becomes, I haven't made it a priority. From outcome to process. I'll be happy when. Becomes, I choose to enjoy the journey now. Mindset reflection questions. Grab a journal or pause and reflect on these. What belief about myself is no longer serving me? When was the last time I talked myself out of something before I even tried? What would my life look like if I fully believed I could grow into anything? Your answers will reveal what's blocking your growth, and what's possible once you shift. Chapter 4. Build habits that build you. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act but a habit. Aristotle. Welcome to the quiet engine room of all transformation, your habits. Think about it, every great achievement you admire, the athlete at the top of their game, the writer with shelves of published books, the entrepreneur who built an empire, it didn't happen overnight. It happened brick by brick. Small decisions. Daily disciplines. Habits. The myth of motivation. Let's start by destroying a popular myth, that you need to feel motivated to take action. You won't. Motivation is a spark. Habits are fuel. Here's the truth. Successful people aren't always motivated. They're simply committed. They've learned to act regardless of how they feel. And that's what makes the difference. Habits shape identity. You're not just building routines, you're building yourself. When you wake up early to read, you're becoming a learner. Hit the gym even when it's cold, you're becoming disciplined. Journal your thoughts nightly, you're becoming self-aware. Each small action casts a vote for the type of person you want to be. Ask yourself, who do I want to become? Then reverse engineer the habits that kind of person would have. Because habits don't just reflect your identity, they create it. The habit loop. Cue, routine, reward. Let's break this down simply. Cue, a trigger that starts the habit, e.g. morning alarm. Routine, the action you take, e.g. meditate for 5 minutes. Reward, the positive reinforcement, e.g. feeling calm, focused. Once this loop is repeated enough, it becomes automatic. You don't have to think. You just do. Want to build better habits? Optimize the loop. Make the cue obvious. Make the routine easy. Make the reward satisfying. Start small, scale big. You don't need to change your life overnight. Start with 1 push-up a day, 1 page of a book, 1 glass of water after waking up. Why? Because consistency beats intensity. Small habits, when repeated consistently, compound into extraordinary results. Let your habit grow naturally. Once the behavior becomes part of your identity, scaling it becomes effortless. Remember, the goal is not perfection. It's momentum. Replace, don't just remove. Trying to break A bad habit without replacing it is like pulling out a weed but leaving the roots. Instead, replace late-night scrolling with reading 10 pages. Replace junk food with prepared healthy snacks. Replace negative self-talk with empowering affirmations. Design your environment for success. Here's a secret: willpower is overrated. If you want to make change easier, change your environment. Want to write every day? Keep a notebook visible. Want to eat healthier? Remove junk from your home. Want to reduce screen time? Charge your phone outside the bedroom. Your environment should make good habits effortless and bad habits inconvenient. Because discipline becomes easier when the path is clear. Track, reflect, improve. What gets measured gets managed. Peter Drucker. Use a simple tracker or journal. Did I complete my habit today? How did it make me feel? What got in the way? Tracking builds self-awareness. Self-awareness drives improvement. Even 1 minute of daily reflection can lead to powerful insights. Morning and evening routines, bookends of greatness. Your day is won or lost in the first and last hour. Morning habits. Wake up at a consistent time. Hydrate. Move your body. Read or journal. Set intentions. Evening habits. No screens before bed. Reflect on the day. Prepare for tomorrow. Practice gratitude. Protect these bookends and your days will stack up into a life of focus, peace, and progress. When you slip, recommit, don't quit. You'll miss a day. You'll break a streak. You'll feel like giving up. That's normal. But here's the rule. Never miss twice. Missing once is human. Missing twice is a pattern. So when you fall off, dust yourself off and get back on track. Progress, perfection. Reflection, your habit blueprint. Grab a pen or pause and think. What's one habit I need to start? What's one habit I need to replace? What's one habit I need to upgrade? What identity am I reinforcing with my current habits? What identity do I want to start reinforcing today? Take your time. This is where growth begins. Chapter 5. The Discipline Advantage. Discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most. Abraham Lincoln. Let's be honest, there are two versions of you. The one who dreams about a better life, and the one who's willing to do the work to build it. Discipline is the bridge between the two. Why motivation isn't enough? Motivation is like a spark. It's exciting, but it burns out fast. Discipline is the firewood that keeps the flame alive, even when it's cold, dark, and no one's watching. Think about New Year's resolutions. Millions of people start with motivation. Only a fraction finish with results. Why? Because motivation depends on how you feel. Discipline depends on what you decide. The power of daily repetition. Discipline lives in your choices. The decision to wake up early when your bed begs you to stay. The choice to finish your project instead of scrolling endlessly. The commitment to the gym when you'd rather stay comfortable. Here's a hard truth. Every day you practice discipline, you're casting a vote for the person you want to become. It's not about perfection. It's about consistency. Discipline is training your brain. Your brain loves comfort. It wants to avoid pain. That's survival mode, but you're not here to survive. You're here to thrive. Discipline is mental strength. It's rewiring your mind to choose long-term fulfillment over short-term pleasure. Examples. Saying no to junk food not because you hate it, but because you love how energy and health feel more. Studying another hour not because it's fun, but because passing the test unlocks your dream job. Speaking up in meetings not because you're fearless, but because growth matters more than comfort. This is the edge that separates high achievers from everyone else. How to build discipline step by step. Discipline is a skill. You're not born with it, you build it. Here's how. 1. Start small, win early. Pick one small task and complete it daily. Make your bed. Drink a glass of water after waking up. Write down your goals before bed. The goal isn't just productivity, it's identity change. These tiny wins prove to yourself, I follow through. 2. Remove the negotiation. Decide once. Not every day. If you want to write for 30 minutes every morning, don't give yourself the option to see how you feel. Wake up. Sit down. Write. That's the rule. Decision fatigue kills discipline. Make commitments automatic. 3. Delay gratification. The marshmallow test wasn't just for kids. It was about life. People who can delay gratification. Save more money. Stay healthier. Perform better at work. Achieve bigger goals. Practice it. Wait 15 extra minutes to eat when you're hungry. Hold off on checking your phone until the task is done. Say no to the short-term impulse so you can say yes to the long-term reward. Each moment you resist temptation, you build a stronger version of yourself. 4. Track and celebrate progress. Discipline thrives on feedback. days you follow your habits, workouts completed, hours studied or read. And don't forget to celebrate. Not with distractions but with pride. Not with excess but with acknowledgement. Hey, I did what I said I would do today. That's a powerful sentence. 5. Build routines that remove willpower. Design your day so good decisions become default. Examples: lay out your clothes the night before. Schedule your deep work during your highest energy window. Prep healthy meals on Sundays so you don't rely on last-minute cravings. Discipline becomes easier when your environment is built for it. What discipline looks like in real life? Let's get real. The artist who paints every day, even when uninspired. The entrepreneur who keeps pitching after 12 rejections. The parent who shows up tired but still reads the bedtime story. The student who studies one more hour when everyone else stops. These people aren't superheroes. They're humans who've chosen discipline over comfort. Every single day. Discipline versus burnout. Now let's make one thing clear. Discipline is not punishment. It's not grinding 24/7 until you collapse. It's not ignoring rest or fun or relationships. Discipline is about alignment, choosing actions that serve your higher self. Burnout happens when we confuse hustle with purpose. True discipline includes rest days, boundaries, saying no to noise so you can say yes to your mission. Final word: discipline creates freedom. It sounds like a paradox. How can restriction create freedom? Because discipline gives you the body that lets you live fully, builds the business that lets you choose your hours, crafts the skills that open new doors. Discipline is the hidden currency of success. You won't always want it, but you will always thank yourself for it. So, when it's hard to keep going, when your feelings whisper, take it easy, when no one is watching, that's when the best version of you is being built. Discipline isn't a burden, it's your advantage. Use it, grow it, own it, because success doesn't respond to dreams. It responds to action. And action lives in discipline. Chapter 6. Learn relentlessly, the lifelong student's edge. The illiterate of the 21st century won't be those who can't read and write, but those who can't learn, unlearn, and relearn. Alvin Toffler. Let's face a truth most people avoid. Your current knowledge has an expiration date. The world is evolving fast, faster than ever. Technologies, industries, relationships, ideas, they're constantly shifting. The one skill that guarantees you stay relevant, valuable, and adaptable is this: relentless learning. And no, this doesn't mean traditional education. It means choosing to be a student long after school ends. Because school might give you a diploma, but learning gives you freedom. Why lifelong learning is non-negotiable. In the past, you could learn a trade or earn a degree and coast through a stable career. Today, that world is gone. Jobs are being replaced by AI. Markets are disrupted overnight. Soft skills are the new currency. Innovation rewards the curious. Whether you're a student, an entrepreneur, or a stay-at-home parent, learning is your edge. Here's what relentless learners know. Curiosity is a superpower. You don't need to know everything, you just need to know how to find the answers. Learning is not preparation for life, it is life. What to learn? Knowledge that builds you. It's easy to get lost in the sea of content. Books, podcasts, courses, social media. So what should you focus on? Learn to master your craft. Whatever you do, writing, designing, managing, cooking, study your field like an artist. Follow the greats. Break down their work. Learn the principles behind the surface. Learn to think clearly. Critical thinking is in short supply. Learn logic, mental models, decision-making frameworks. Read philosophy. Study psychology. Reflect often. Learn people skills. Emotional intelligence, empathy, listening, these soft skills create hard results. The better you connect, the further you go. Learn how to learn. Meta-learning is powerful. Read books like Make It Stick or The Art of Learning. Practice spaced repetition. Learn to take effective notes. Your brain is your most valuable tool. Sharpen it. How to learn. Systems over random effort. Success leaves clues. And learners don't rely on chance, they create systems. Here's a proven framework. Read daily. Even 10 minutes a day compounds. Books are condensed wisdom. Read biographies, nonfiction, and literature that challenges your mind. Listen on the go. Podcasts and audiobooks turn commute time into class time. Reflect and apply. Don't just consume, digest. Journal what you've learned. Teach it to someone else. Apply one small thing you learned today. Review and repeat. Learning isn't linear. Go back. Reread. Relearn. Reconnect with what you thought you knew. Overcoming the barriers to learning. Let's be real, Learning consistently isn't always easy. You'll face resistance. Here's how to overcome the common blocks. I don't have time. Everyone has time for what they prioritize. Swap 10 minutes of social media for 10 minutes of reading. That's 60 hours a year. I'm too old. Wrong. Science has proven neuroplasticity exists at every age. Your brain can adapt, if you let it. I'm not smart enough. Intelligence is not fixed. Effort and repetition beat talent. Period. I already know enough. Dangerous thinking. Arrogance kills growth. The truly wise remain humble and hungry, learning from life itself. Not all learning comes from books. In fact, your greatest classroom is experience. That failed business? A master class in resilience. That relationship that broke your heart? A course in self-worth. That time you took a risk and fell flat? A seminar in courage. Life gives tests before it gives the lesson. But if you reflect, adapt, and ask, what did I learn from this? You'll always come out ahead. The learner's identity. Here's the most powerful truth. You become who you study. So ask yourself, are you studying people who build? Are you watching media that educates, or just entertains? Are you spending more time learning than scrolling? Success isn't about being the smartest person in the room. It's about being the most teachable. Action steps. Start learning relentlessly today. Pick one skill you want to master. Find a book, course, or mentor to guide you. Commit to 30 minutes of intentional learning each day. Start a learning journal. Write down 3 things you learned each week. Unfollow distraction. Follow wisdom. Curate your feed. Choose voices that stretch your thinking. Final thought. Formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. Jim Rohn. The world doesn't reward the most educated. It rewards the most adaptable, the most curious, the most relentless. You're not here to consume. You're here to grow. So study. Reflect. Ask questions. Be wrong. Learn anyway. Because the fastest way to become your best self is to learn like your life depends on it. Because in many ways, it does. Chapter 7. Upgrade your environment. You can't change your life until you change your environment. You don't rise above it, you reflect it. Success is not just about what you do, it's about where you do it and who you do it around. Most people try to change their lives through willpower alone, never realizing that their environment is silently shaping their choices, thoughts, energy, and identity every single day. Imagine trying to stay sober in a bar. Or trying to write your next book in a room full of noise, clutter, and chaos. You might still get things done, but you'll be fighting an uphill battle. Why? Because environment always wins. When your environment speaks to you, what's it saying? Pause and look around. Your room, your office, your phone, your friend group. Each one is a vote for who you're becoming. And the scariest part? You get used to it. You get used to low standards, to loud distractions, to draining people, to cluttered spaces. Ask yourself, does this space inspire focus, or steal it? Do the people around me reflect the values I want to live by? Am I intentionally choosing what surrounds me or just accepting it? If your environment isn't helping you, it's holding you back. 2. Design spaces for success. Your physical space is the foundation of your mental clarity and productivity. You don't need luxury. You need intentionality. Here's how to upgrade your space. Declutter ruthlessly. Physical clutter creates mental fog. Clean space equals clean mind. Design for function. Want to read more? Put a book on your pillow. Want a journal? Keep your journal visible on your desk. Limit noise and distraction. Use noise-canceling headphones. Turn off non-essential notifications. Create digital, quiet zones. Add inspiration. Surround yourself with reminders of your goals, quotes you believe in, or visuals of the life you're building. Small environmental shifts lead to massive psychological upgrades. 3. Audit your circle. Jim Rohn once said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." But let's go deeper. You are the average of the energies, habits, and standards of the people you consistently allow into your life. This doesn't mean you cut off people you love. It means you consciously choose who has influence over your thoughts and behaviors. Who inspires me to grow? Who drains my energy? Who challenges me with truth, not comfort? If you're always the most disciplined or ambitious person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Surround yourself with doers, not complainers. Builders, not breakers. People with direction, not just opinions. Find mentors. Join communities. Network with those who live the values you admire. 4. Digital detox and rewiring. Your digital environment is just as powerful as your physical one. It's always with you, In your pocket, on your wrist, in your hand at 2 a.m. Here's the truth. What you consume is what you become. Be honest. Is your feed filled with inspiration or distraction? Are you spending more time learning or scrolling? Is your screen time building your future or numbing your present? Practical tips. Unfollow toxic, shallow, or negative accounts. Curate your feed with thought leaders, creators, and educators who challenge you. Schedule phone-free hours in your day. Use tools like website blockers to reclaim your attention. Protect your focus like your future depends on it, because it does. 5. Habit loops and environmental triggers. Behavioral science shows us that we don't just act on intention, we act on cues in our environment. Example: a candy bowl on your desk? You'll snack without thinking. A dumbbell next to your couch? You'll likely squeeze in some reps. So, redesign your space for the habits you want. Create friction for bad habits. Remove junk food from reach. Silence toxic group chats. Make social media logins just a little harder. And reduce friction for good ones. Lay out workout clothes the night before. Set your journal beside your toothbrush. Keep your guitar in sight, not in its case. Environment can trigger action or tempt distraction. Build it to trigger your best self. 6. Energetic environments, how places feel. Ever walk into a room and feel heavy, unmotivated, tired, for no reason? That's energetic residue. Certain environments hold years of stale energy, arguments, procrastination, failure loops. Change it up. Move your desk to a new corner. Add light, plants, fresh air, or new sounds. Burn sage, light candles, or change the scent of your space. A new energy equals a new identity. Treat your space like sacred ground. 7. Upgrade isn't always external, sometimes it's internal. Some people live in the best cities, have beautiful homes, and still feel stuck. Because while your outer environment matters, your inner environment, your beliefs, thoughts, and emotional climate, matters just as much. Make time to meditate, reflect, journal, feel. Sometimes the biggest upgrade is finally giving yourself peace. Chapter 8. Face fear and take action. Everything you've ever wanted is sitting on the other side of fear. George Adair. Fear is the silent architect of most unfulfilled potential. It keeps dreams on the shelf. It whispers, what if it goes wrong? And rarely, what if it goes right? But here's the truth you need to hear. Fear is not a stop sign. It's a signal. A signal that you're about to do something meaningful. Something that matters. Something that stretches who you are. Let's break it down. There are 2 kinds of fear. 1. Primal fear, survival fear. This is fear that protects us from danger. A tiger. A fire. A fall from a great height. It's biological. It keeps us alive. 2. Psychological fear, ego fear. This is fear of rejection, failure, embarrassment, not being good enough, or being judged. This is the fear that keeps you from applying for the job, speaking up in the meeting, launching your business, or telling someone how you feel. And this second kind? It doesn't protect you. It paralyzes you. The illusion of ready. Waiting until you feel ready is one of the biggest traps on the journey to your best self. Readiness is an illusion. It doesn't arrive in full before the moment. It grows inside the moment. Let me tell you something you might not believe yet. Confidence is a reward for action, not a prerequisite for it. Think about a time when you were afraid to try something new, maybe your first time speaking in front of a crowd or posting a video online. You were scared, but you did it anyway. And after, you felt empowered, capable, changed. That's the power of action. Real growth feels uncomfortable. If your goals don't scare you at least a little, they're too small. Fear is often a sign that you're heading toward your edge, the place where your current self meets your future self. That's where transformation lives. But what do most people do? They wait for certainty. They wait for guarantees. They overthink. And in doing so, they give fear more power than it deserves. Courage is a practice, not a trait. Some people aren't born brave. They just practice courage more often than you do. And with every courageous act, their comfort zone stretches. Start small. Say no when you usually say yes. Ask the uncomfortable question. Post the imperfect idea. Make the call. Send the email. Start the thing. Every act of courage strengthens your identity. I'm someone who takes action even when I'm scared. Your brain is wired for safety, not greatness. Your brain's job is to keep you safe, not successful. It will manufacture fear to stop you from taking risks, even if those risks are necessary for growth. It confuses emotional discomfort with physical danger. You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're just human. The key is to recognize that fear and take action anyway. Feel the fear. Name it. Breathe through it. Walk into it. Tactics to move through fear. Here are 5 tools to help you move from fear to action. The 5-second rule, Mel Robbins. Countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, then move. Take the action before fear has time to talk you out of it. Micro-bravery. Practice small courageous acts daily. Courage is like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. Worst-case scenario exercise. Ask, what's the actual worst that could happen? Then ask, could I handle it? 95% of the time you can. Future self-visualization. Picture your future self 5 years from now. Will they thank you for being brave today, or regret that you stayed stuck? Accountability partner. Tell someone what you're going to do. Let them hold you to it. Fear hates the light of accountability. A quick story, The Leap. There once was a man who dreamed of becoming a writer, but he never published anything. He told himself he needed more time, more training, more clarity. One day someone asked him, "What would you do if you weren't afraid?" He paused. He answered, "I'd hit publish." So he did. That one blog post turned into a newsletter, then a book, then a full-time career. Not because he had no fear, but because he finally stopped letting fear vote. Let's reflect. Ask yourself these questions right now. What fear has been holding me back? What would I do if I trusted myself more? What's one bold action I can take today? You don't need to eliminate fear, you just need to decide it won't make your decisions anymore. Key takeaway, feel the fear. Do it anyway. You won't always feel brave, but you can always choose bravery. Fear means you're on the brink of growth. Success lives just past the boundary of your comfort zone. Take the step. Speak the truth. Start the journey. The version of you who isn't afraid? They're not in the future. They're waiting for you on the other side of action. You are braver than you believe. Now go prove it to yourself. Chapter 9. Embrace failure as feedback. Failure is not falling down. It's staying down. Mary Pickford. Let's clear something up right away. Failure is not the enemy. Failure is a teacher. A brutally honest one. One that doesn't sugarcoat, doesn't flatter, and doesn't hand out trophies for showing up. But it will show you exactly where you are and where you need to grow, if you're willing to listen. The pain of failure is temporary, the lessons are permanent. No one enjoys failing. It's uncomfortable. It stings. But here's the truth, some of your most powerful breakthroughs will come wrapped in defeat. The job you didn't get? It taught you how to interview better. The business that didn't work? It showed you what the market really needs. The relationship that ended? It revealed your values, or your blind spots. Every failure carries feedback. But most people are too busy feeling sorry for themselves to collect it. The difference between winners and quitters is simple. Winners extract the lesson. Quitters internalize the loss. When something doesn't go your way, don't ask, "Why me?" What is this trying to teach me? What could I do differently next time? Where did I stop showing up as my best self? Failure builds mental toughness. We live in a world that overvalues comfort and underestimates resilience. But here's the thing, comfort doesn't create champions. Failing and bouncing back makes you strong in ways no success ever could. It teaches humility, you realize you don't know everything. Resilience, you learn to keep going even with bruises. Perspective, you discover that one setback isn't the end of your story. Mental toughness is built like muscle. You tear it. You rest. You grow stronger. If you failed recently, good. You're in the game. You're not on the sidelines. Fail fast. Fail forward. Fail intentionally. Let's flip the script. What if you didn't avoid failure, but designed it? Here's how high performers use failure. They test ideas quickly. Instead of waiting for perfect conditions, they launch, adjust, and learn. They remove ego. Their identity isn't tied to outcomes. So a failed attempt doesn't mean they're a failure. It just means the process needs work. They focus on the process, not perfection. Every rep, every try, every no, gets them closer to mastery. So if you're stuck in perfectionism, hear this. Perfect is the enemy of progress. Failing is part of refining. Learning is part of leveling up. There is no growth without friction. Reframe failure with empowering questions. When you hit a wall, don't retreat. Reflect. Try asking, what did I learn about myself? What skills do I now know I need? Who can help me improve in this area? What limiting belief did this failure expose? Questions like these turn shame into strategy. Because if you don't extract the lesson, you'll repeat the lesson. Famous failures, the blueprint of greatness. History is filled with stories of people who failed forward. Oprah Winfrey was fired from her first job as a television reporter. She went on to become one of the most influential women in media history. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. He became a 6-time NBA champion. J.K. Rowling was rejected by 12 publishers before Harry Potter got picked up. She became a billionaire author. They didn't stop because they failed. They succeeded because they failed and grew. Final thoughts: the growth is in the gap. There's a gap between who you are and who you want to be. That gap is filled with trial and error, setbacks and rebounds, failures and feedback. The failure you fear may be the doorway to the breakthrough you need. You will fall. That's guaranteed. But each fall plants the seeds of resilience, wisdom, and strength, if you choose to get back up with your eyes open and your ego checked. This is your invitation to stop fearing failure and start partnering with it. Welcome it. Use it. Grow through it. Because success isn't built on wins alone. It's built on everything you've learned from what didn't work. Chapter 10. Become the person you admire. Admire in others what you can awaken in yourself. There's a person you admire. Maybe they're a real person, a mentor, a leader, a loved one. Maybe they're a composite, someone you've imagined, a future version of you. Strong, calm, capable, confident, kind, unshakable. Here's the truth. You admire them because they reflect something that already exists within you. Becoming your best self isn't about imitation. It's about activation. Step 1. Study their character, not just their results. Too often we admire people for their outcomes. Money, beauty, power. But those are just byproducts. What you really respect is their character. The way they handle adversity. How they show up when no one's watching. Their clarity, courage, and consistency. So ask yourself, what traits do I admire most in this person? How do they treat others? What do they stand for? Success without character is empty. Admiration without intention is wasted. Practice. Write down 5 traits of someone you admire. Then rate yourself 1 to 10 in each trait. This is your personal growth blueprint. Step 2. Reverse engineer the identity. The person you admire didn't become who they are overnight. They built habits, made sacrifices, and took actions, often when it was uncomfortable, unrecognized, or unrewarded. Want their results? Then, think how they think. Act how they act. Persist how they persist. Start asking, what would the best version of me do right now? Would they snooze the alarm, or rise with intention? Would they shrink from fear, or lean into it? Would they gossip, or speak with integrity? Key truth: identity is a habit. You don't become great. You practice it. Step 3. Bridge the gap between admiration and action. Many people admire from a distance but never move toward what they respect. Why? Because it's easier to idolize than to internalize. But becoming the person you admire is not about perfection. It's about alignment. Alignment between your values and your behavior, beliefs and your words, vision and your daily decisions. If you admire resilience, challenge yourself daily. If you admire wisdom, study, reflect, and share. If you admire leadership, take ownership and serve others. Reminder: if it inspires you, it's calling you. Take the first step. Step 4. Confront your inner saboteur. As you rise, you'll hear a familiar voice. You're not like them. You're not good enough. You're faking it. This is your inner critic, fueled by fear, shaped by past wounds. But becoming your best self means replacing that voice with a new one. One that says, I'm not perfect, but I'm committed. I might not be there yet, but I'm on the way. Growth is messy, but so is real greatness. Affirmation: I admire who I am becoming even while I'm becoming them. Step 5. Become someone others admire, not for ego but for impact. True success isn't just about becoming admirable. It's about inspiring others to rise. Be the person who shows up on time, listens with their whole heart, chooses honesty when it's hard, follows through when no one's watching, lifts others even when they're struggling themselves. Your character becomes your legacy, and your example becomes someone else's turning point. Daily challenge: be the kind of person your younger self would look up to. Be the kind of person your future self will thank. You already have what it takes. Not all at once, but in seed form. Every act of courage, every tough decision, every time you resist old patterns and choose better, that's who you're becoming. Don't wait to be admired. Don't wait to feel ready. Start becoming the person you admire today, one choice at a time. Because ultimately, you don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. And success, real, lasting, soul-deep success, starts with you. Conclusion: start today, not someday. Someday is not a day of the week. One day is not a destination. Your time is now. You've reached the final chapter of this audiobook, but your real journey is just beginning. Throughout these chapters, you've reflected, questioned, and hopefully awakened something powerful within you. A reminder, the truth, a voice you may have ignored for too long. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are becoming. But none of it matters if you don't act. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Not after things calm down. Because waiting is the silent killer of dreams. We all have two lives. The second begins the moment we realize we only get one. So what are you waiting for? Waiting for permission? You don't need it. Waiting for confidence? It's built through action, not before it. Waiting for the right time? This is the right time. The perfect moment doesn't exist. It's made through movement. Ask yourself, what's one small change I can make today? What's one decision I've been avoiding? What does my best self need me to do right now? Don't try to change everything overnight. Change one thing and then another. Momentum loves simplicity. Success loves speed. And life? Life rewards the bold. You will stumble. You will doubt. You will face resistance. But you'll also grow. You'll rise. And you'll discover a deeper strength than you ever knew you had. Every step you take toward your best self is a rebellion against mediocrity. And every time you choose growth over comfort, action over avoidance, purpose over fear, you win. This is your turning point. Not the kind you dream about while scrolling your phone. Not the kind you'll write in a journal and forget. This is the kind you live. No one else can walk this path for you. But know this, you're not alone. Every person who's ever changed their life started in the exact same place. A moment, a choice, a now. So breathe deep, stand tall, and take that first step. Because the most powerful truth of all is this. Success doesn't start when the world notices you. Success starts when you notice you. And that moment is today.